Hi, welcome to my channel. Danette Gets Creative. I'm Danette, and here we are, back with another house. This one is in shades of pink. If you're new to my channel, and you've never seen any of my house videos before, I do have a step-by-step video of how I assemble the house from beginning to end. But for the sake of this video, I've already constructed the house, and I'm ready to embellish. So what I'm doing right now is I found this cute little pom-pom trim. Then going to stitch around the edges of the roof. So just sewing machine cotton, tiny little stitches. So thank you again to everyone who's been commenting, liking, and watching the videos. I appreciate the time that you're putting in and the comments that you're making. It's been a fun process, and my brain is just full of ideas, so I hope you're enjoying the ideas and projects I'm sharing. So just finishing up this little corner here, final little stitches, and then I'll set this aside for later. There it is. How cute is that? So what I'm doing here is I've got some off-white felt, and I'm using one of the heat-soluble pens, and I'm just designing a window. I'll end up making 2 of these for each of the sides of the house. So just sketching it out, then I'll cut it out. It's a good idea to have pointy little scissors for this step so that you can get into these tiny little spaces to cut them out. It's kind of finicky. There we go. Now onto the little squares. So hope you're all doing well. Hope you're having fun creating your own houses. By the time we're done, we're going to have quite the little village here. There we go. Find a little square to snip out here. And then I'm going to use this cutout window as a template for a second one. Oops, there it is. Trace out number 2 and cut out number 2. Perfect. I didn't want to just see the pink showing through the holes, so I found this very dainty lace, and I'm going to allow the lace to show through the window, kind of like it has little lace curtains. So glue it down, temporarily gluing it down because I will stitch it. There's one for that side. Put a little glue on the second one. There we go. Cut it out. It will be the window for the second side. There we go. I'm going to use some white sewing machine cotton to sew down the windows. Just going to do a running stitch all the way around the frame and in between the windows. so then it's secure. I don't want to do too many embellishments on this. I thought about doing window boxes, but the material is so pretty that I want the material also to be a feature in this house. So I'm mostly going to decorate the front of the house. So stitching down the window. There, my thread's getting short. So I'll end it there and come back and show you the finished windows. Again, it's just a straight stitch. Just securing it to the house. Now I'm onto the door. So I've kept a similar shape to the window, just drew it bigger, and I cut out only the top window. Now I've drawn the same idea at the bottom, except I've made rectangles since the windows are smaller than the door. And I'm just going to, instead of cutting out the panels on the door, I'm going to stitch them. So again, I used the heat soluble pen, and then I'm going to stitch over them and get rid of the lines once we're done. So 3 strands of this off-white embroidery thread. And then I'm just going to follow the guide that I've drawn for each of the rectangles. There we go. Back on track after unthreading my needle twice and rethreading it twice. Just following along. Creating the design on the door. I think that's 3 times now that I've unthreaded my needle. It's not my day. Pardon me. As I'm sitting here doing the voiceovers for this video, it's springtime where I live, and we've recently had a bunch of snow, but the sun is shining and I can actually hear the birds chirping, and it's very pleasant to hear. So if you hear any little birds in the background, you'll understand why. So yeah, just finishing off the door here. There we go. Last panel. And then I will attach it to the house. Finished. Give it a little heat. And I'm going to attach the door. Pardon me again, sorry. I'm going to attach the door again. I lifted up a little bit. I realized, whoa, wait. Nope. I lifted up just a little bit because I have to sew the bottom on as well. So I just raised it up just slightly from the bottom. And I'm going to use a blanket stitch to secure it to the house. So tiny little stitches all the way around. Every once in a while making sure it's straight so that my door doesn't go on crooked. Okay. I'm going to run out of thread here shortly, so I'm going to end it off there and I'll come back and I'll be able to show you once the door is complete. There it is. Okay, I've taken a button and I've drawn around a little circle. And now I'm using green embroidery thread to make a circle. And what I'm going to do with this circle is I'm going to continue with the green thread and I'm going to do little lazy daisy stitches to make a wreath. I thought the door needed a fancy little decoration on it. Like I said earlier, I'm trying to keep the embellishments somewhat simple, just because the patterns and the material are so pretty. But I'm also trying to create a shabby chic boutique here, so it's got to have a little bit of design and prettiness to it. So here we go, adding little daisies. Not daisies, lazy daisies to make the leaves. Coming to the end of my green. I'll stop there and I'll come back and show you the finished wreath with the green on it. There we go, there's half of it. There's the finished one. And now I've just grabbed a purpley color, a fuchsia, and I'm just going to make some French knots to create the idea of some little flowers on the wreath. You could probably leave it just as the green wreath too, because it looks quite cute like that. But I'm going to add the color. Little pop of purple. So I'm just placing them wherever I kind of see an empty spot in the wreath. Spot that needs a little spot of color. Okay, there's a little close up there so you can see some of the pops of color. Just going to finish up with the French knots. And unthreading my needle. Okay, so here we are with the boutique signed, and I took my pen again, wrote it out, and now I'm just using a single strand of embroidered cotton, and I'm going to trace, outline the marker lines that I've created. I've got the piece a little bigger than what I'm going to use just because it's easier to hold on to. And I'm just going to take the time to trace each letter. This can be a long process, so I'll just show you here the B, and I'll show you the finished one at the end. There we go. Giving it a little shot of heat there to get rid of the extra pencil lines. I place it on, and I decide that it just doesn't show up enough. So, keeping with a shabby chic, I grab some lace. And I put lace underneath as well as on top of the sign. And I think it really just changes the look of the sign. How cute is that? I originally thought I'd put a pin in it, but there's so many layers. I was like, nope, forget it. I end up sewing down the lace first, just overlapping. Quick little running stitch to hold it in place. And then I'm going to sew on the boutique sign. Most of the houses I've been doing have had a little number on it. I don't end up putting a number on this because I have actually put the word boutique on it. So, quick little running stitch as well around the edge of the boutique sign. Every once in a while, just making sure it's straight because I don't really want to have a crooked boutique sign. So cute. I'm really happy with the simplicity of it. So cute. If you're interested in creating a house the same shape as this, I will include the pattern in the description box. Again, I just hand drew it myself, so it's not 100% accurate. So what I have here is I have tiny little strip of brown felt. I've just rolled it up, and now I'm just going to attach it to the front of the house to create kind of like, pardon me, excuse me, a plant pot. And what I want to do on either side of the door, and I'm going to show you the process on one side, and then I'll do the second one off camera. But what I want to create is I want to create a topiary, I think is what they're called. One of those taller trees that just kind of have the ball of green on the top. So I'm starting with this pot, and then I'm going to use embroidery floss to create the trunk, and then also embroidery floss to create the top, the greenery part of the tree. So I'm just going to do stem stitch, a back stitch to create the trunk, and then I will do lazy daisy stitches to create the leaves, and then I will use the same purple that I used in the wreath to create little flowers as well with French knots. I just wanted to add a little bit of embellishment around the doors. So now I'm just creating the trunk with just simple stitches. I'm just going to draw out a round shape as a guide for the green. Oh, the needle threading. Such a challenge. There we go. And there's the circle I was referring to. And then I'm just going to fill it all in with green lazy daisies. Kind of goes through an ugly phase. I know that Rachel refers to things having the ugly phase for a while before they look better. So it kind of makes me giggle when I hear her say that, but it's so true. Until you get the shape and get enough, in this case, enough lazy daisies in place, it looks pretty odd. But just keep going and you'll get what you want at the end. I guess it's part of having patience too, right? Something that sometimes we just don't have enough of. And these are teeny tiny stitches too, so it will take quite a few to fill in the space that I need to fill in. Here we go, halfway there. I'm running out of thread, so I won't bore you with all the stitches, because you're getting the idea here. Knot. The infamous knot. Anyway, you can see there's the part of the tree at the top. Add a few more green and then come in with the French knots. There they are. Now I'm going to sew the two sides together so that the structure is finished. I'm going to add the roof, sew on the bottom 3 sides, and stuff it. So I hope you've enjoyed this shabby chic boutique. Please continue to offer suggestions and make comments about things that I can include in future houses coming up. I'm having a really good time doing this, and I'm glad you're all enjoying it. Take care, have fun, happy creating. Bye.